you are a fan of Brian Cashman or you hate his guts, I think we can all admit that he just accomplished what could be the best trade deadline of his career. What's going on, guys? King of Under 61st. I'm back with another video, and Brian Cashman addressed the biggest need in this Yankees team, and he did it in a massive way. And that's where we're going to start this off. He has acquired 3 different relievers. All 3 of them could be at least middle relief, and in some cases could even end up being a closer for this team. So let's start off with the first trade of the day. During the rain delay, we found out the Yankees are acquiring David Bednar from the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is a very high velocity, curveball throwing pitcher who's had his glory days in the past, had struggled recently, but as of 2025, he is having a renaissance year. The Pittsburgh Pirates were looking to sell. The Yankees took advantage of that, took their closer, and they did not trade too many guys of significance. To me, this was a huge trade to make the Luke Weaver experiment go to the 7th inning. At least at first. This was a great trade to add depth to this bullpen, but the Yankees needed to do more. And you know what? They did exactly that. As a few minutes later, the Yankees announced that they acquired Jake Bird from the Colorado Rockies. Jake Bird, a guy who's more of a slider sweeper guy, will be great to add depth in the 6th inning, into the 7th inning. If Marcus Stroman can't go more than 5, he can make it to the 5th, and he can extend an outing. His stats do not look great, but also whose stats in Colorado look great? Especially for a pitcher playing in that bandbox that's almost like playing on the freaking moon. Yeah, your ERA is not going to look that great. He will be a welcomed addition. Again, adding depth. Letting guys like Loizica not take days in this bullpen. Letting guys like maybe Hedrick, they send him back down. I like the way Hedrick's been pitching. He could be a part of this depth. But now they have options. It's not a last resort anymore. And then, when nobody expected it, we thought the Yankees were done with trades at this point. In the 11th hour, they decided to go and get the biggest fish of them all, Camilo Doval. Camilo Doval has all-star potential as a relief pitcher. Nasty stuff, comes in from a weird angle. He could even take over the 9th. We saw that Devin Williams had some problems the other day. Camilo Doval is the cherry on top of what was a perfect trade deadline to accomplish what the Yankees needed to accomplish, which was adding pitching depth. And the Yankees added 3 different bullpen arms. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be guys that get kicked out of that bullpen. And you know what? Good, because this bullpen has been sputtering. And that's exactly what the Yankees needed to focus on. Bednar has experience. Bednar has been an all-star. He's coming back into form. Now in Yankee Stadium, that high 90s fastball, along with his curveball, is going to work great. While Jake Bird will hopefully find some more consistency, not playing in the bandbox of Colorado. He will provide what a lot of guys in this bullpen provide, which is not as much velocity, but a lot of movement on his pitches. A guy who seemingly is a fan favorite of the organization. And then you get the big dog of Camilo Doval. Camilo Doval makes this bullpen go from going top half of the league after the two other trades, to now it's a borderline top 10 bullpen in baseball. Brian Cashman flipped this bullpen on its head from being a bottom 5 bullpen in baseball to now possibly, if everything works out, this is a top 10 bullpen in baseball. This is what I mean by, is this the best trade deadline of Brian Cashman's career? And we're not even done yet. The Yankees also brought in 4 position players: Austin Slater, Ahmed Rosario, Jose Caballero, and Ryan McMahon. Austin Slater and Ahmed Rosario were brought in for the same reason. Both of them are lefty mashers. Both of them are going to come in off the bench as pinch hitters. If you look at Austin Slater's stats, he's actually an excellent pinch hitter. But either way, both of these guys may not get as much playing time. But when there's a lefty on the mound, expect them to come in and they will probably have a pretty good impact. Jose Caballero is the immediate replacement to the now traded Oswald Peraza. Fast guy, very versatile, something that Peraza was not, as Caballero can play the infield, he can play the outfield. He has been a menace to the Yankees. Pissed off Garrett Cole many times. Wonder how that locker room situation's going to go. Probably will be fine. But Caballero is a great utility guy to have on that bench to provide depth. Something the Yankees did not have 3 weeks ago was any real depth. Outside of the 4th outfielder, there was no one else you could rely on. We were going backup catcher of J.C. Escara, who, excellent story, but not someone you rely on in a pinch. Oswald Peraza, who, let's face it, never really panned out in Major League Baseball. And Jorbit Vivas, who was completely out of his depths being at the Major League level. What the Yankees did by getting Slater and Rosario along with Caballero is fully revamp the bench. No more Jorbit Vivas. He will have more time to develop. No more Oswald Peraza. He is now in Los Angeles. That is what they wanted to accomplish. Especially now that they have Ryan McMahon, who everyone in my comment section was telling me was going to be a bench bat, a platoon bat, no big deal, calling me out for putting game changer in the thumbnail. Look at what he's done over the past few games. He has been one of our better players. Provides a Gold Glove defense, and now that he has some consistency and some real play out of Colorado, and now is coming to the Bronx where we're really competitive, it's looking like the offense is starting to come around. Do we truly believe that this offense is going to be fully fantastic and that he's now going to be a full-time maniac offensively? No. But what he will provide is much more value than both Peraza and Vivas. They were saying on the broadcast that McMahon already has .2 WAR as a Yankee in a few games. Peraza and Vivas in their time both had negative WARs. Ryan McMahon is already giving us much more impact than what Peraza and Vivas gave us all year. And that, to me, makes that trade worth it. So now let's answer the question. Is this Brian Cashman's best trade deadline of his career? And I gotta say yes. He's made real moves in the offseason. He traded for Juan Soto. He got the CC Sabathia deal done. He got the Mark Teixeira. 2009 offseason is probably the best run of Cashman's career. And it led to a ring. But if we're talking straight deadline, everyone talks about how, Brian Cashman's always asleep at the wheel when it comes to trades. Brian Cashman is always a prospect hugger. He's never able to make the big trade. He did that today. He was able to get the big time relievers to help push possibly Devin Williams to the 7th inning. That may not be the case, but he gave the Yankees bullpen depth after it being the most shallow part of this roster and a main reason why we sputtered over the past month. He has provided depth when the Yankees needed depth. Had very little guys who could hit very well against left-handed pitching. They were able to provide that. They provided speed. They provided versatility. They got Peraza and Vivas off the roster. That in itself is a victory if you add the others in there. Those are all huge for this trade deadline. The one thing that you could bring up that is a negative to this trade deadline is he did not get a starter. What I will say to that is I will accept, with the way this trade deadline went, I will accept if Brian Cashman says Luis Gil is basically like getting a trade deadline acquisition. Because Luis Gil won Rookie of the Year last year. If he provides an impact, Cam Schlittler continues to develop. We're not going to need a 5th starter in the postseason. Just remember that. So Stroman is probably out of the rotation come postseason time. I'm fine with this. This was an awesome trade deadline. Am I ready to say it was the best of his career? You know what? I just might. Brian Cashman just did probably some of his best work of his entire career. And he did it without giving up Lombard or Jones or Schlittler. All 3 guys were floated around as names. No, he didn't get the Mason Miller. No, he didn't get the gambling Emmanuel Clase. He didn't go out and trade for whoever the fuck. He didn't trade for Paul Skeens. But he got the Yankees what they needed. And this is the one trade deadline where we could say, wow, that was awesome. Along with the entire trade deadline. That was an awesome deadline. But anyways, guys, that is it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below. New here, hit that sub button. I'm on my way to 1,000. Need your help to get there. Man, what a day it was. Yankees get the win. Brian Cashman gets a massive W. Hopefully we carry this into tomorrow when we go to Miami. I'm out of here, guys. Take care and peace.